So today we're talking about max funding, right? The
Indeed
idea is it's not just something about, I want to give you all the money. There's limits to what we can do, but we want to make sure we're maximizing it because in the end, we want that good ROI, correct?
Well, we want a retirement nest egg.
Right.
That we can hope will generate our lifestyle that we're always imagined we'd have, and it'll be sufficient for us. So right? So we're not really going to talk a whole lot about investments.
Right.
But we are going to talk about max funding because guess what? It's a new amount. It's 2025.
Okay.
Date stamping it.
So
we're coming into that year. And so we want everybody to know, hey, do I get to amp up some more? CD Financial, where health meets wealth.
Welcome back, everybody, to the CD Financial Podcast. CD Financial, where health meets wealth. I am Marcus, your host. That man across from me is Chuck D. Chuck, how the heck are you?
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. The sun's shining.
I love it. Are you going to do the whole Mr. Rogers sweater and sneakers?
He was a Pittsburgher. Right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I think they got a Rogers Museum. I'm not sure, actually. But I'm sure they got, in the Pittsburgh Museum of... is it the Museum of History down in the Strip District?
Yeah.
I'm sure they've got a little section for.
There's got to be a plaque.
Fred, there's got to be because they've got an old trolley car there.
Yeah.
Right. Ding, 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 and that's why he had that on his set. Too, because it was part of our culture woven into the fabric. You used to have to dodge the trolley cars.
Well, you had
if you were driving because they had tracks right downtown in the middle of the road.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I've seen those. But what is the incline? What is that?
The incline.
Is it called the incline? There you go. I can remember if it was the incline. Yes,
it's the Monongahela, and I don't know. Maybe it's the Allegheny, but I don't think so.
Okay.
I can't remember what. One of them's called the Monongahela.
Okay.
They're cool when you go in.
Named after two of the three rivers. Yes,
and they smell like a Kennywood amusement park because it's the old grease with chains and big gears. It's pretty impressive stuff.
So have you ever done the one in LA, the incline in LA?
No.
Angel's Flight? Never done Angel's Flight?
No. How about that? And I've never done the one in Palm Springs. They've got, it's not an incline.
Yeah.
It's they call this gondola.
Right.
Like when you go skiing.
It's a different thing. That is incredibly intense because it goes up at a steep
you did
angle.
The one in Palm Springs.
Yes.
Was it worth it?
Yes, absolutely worth it.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely worth it.
All right.
Yes.
He likes to come out here.
Love Palm Springs.
He's a desert dweller.
I am fast becoming. I'm growing scales soon. I
wouldn't say Austin's desert at all, but it's arid-ish country.
No. It's definitely moister than here. I can tell you that.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I lived through 2 Texas winters, so
yeah.
And I was like, why do they talk about Texas floods? And then when it did rain, I was like, oh.
Now you know why old SRV sang about Texas floods. Yes.
Yeah. Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yes. Yeah.
Very nice.
Some flooding down in Texas. Telephone lines are down.
Can we do a Stevie Ray Vaughan sing along? Is that a thing? Maybe we'll just do a whole episode where we do Stevie Ray Vaughan sing alongs.
Yes. I really like the way he took the blues and made it so rocky and
he was amazing.
Cool. And Hendrix too. I just loved it.
Yeah.
Good. Wind Cries Mary from both of them. Yeah. I think Stevie Ray did it too. Yeah.
Yeah. He's awesome. Yeah. Anyway, today we're going to talk about something that I really like where you're going with. We're discussing this a little bit before, max funding, right? We're going to talk about max funding. But what it made me think about, because all of us look for maximizing our investment, right? We want good ROI. We want to make the most of it. And
return on investment.
Return on investment.
For those who don't know, ROI.
It made me think about, because I have a lot of friends that are Dallas Cowboy fans. Don't hold that against me. Chuck and I are both Steelers fans. But one of the biggest complaints is Dallas Cowboys generate a ton of money. Mr. Jones knows exactly how to make money. He's really, really good at it. Their complaint is they don't see that reflected on what's on the field, right? It doesn't translate to wins. So there's an organizational detachment there from the amount of income they're getting and the way they're producing their product. So they're not getting real good return on investment. They're not getting real good, they're not maximizing the investment that they are making, right? Because these fans go out and they spend a lot of money on tickets,
right?
And merchandise, and they wear the jerseys.
Merch.
They are proud fans.
And the huge cowboy hat.
Yeah, absolutely.
The caricature cowboy hats, which I gotta admit, I kind of like those.
Well, they have a draw. They have a pool.
As a kid, I like the cowgirls.
Yeah, that's a different topic for another day. But
that's Sunday night. They would mule those games to us. I'm like, why is it always Cowboys on Sunday night?
That's because they sell. I mean,
I guess so, yeah.
they sell.
But hey, guess what now? I mean, Steelers forever were Monday nighters. I mean, Monday night, and they have such a strong winning percentage Monday night.
Absolutely.
All right, so you're talking about Cowboys,
Right?
Not translating to wins on the field. So continue.
So
ROI, return on investment.
these fans are they're very zealous fans, right? They're loyal fans. They invest their time and their money and emotion. They're just not getting that return on their investment. So we're talking about investing for the future. We're talking about investing for retirement. Just because we're zealous about it right now and we're enthused and everything does not necessarily mean we'll have success in retirement, does it?
No, enthusiasm doesn't translate to success in retirement.
So it all sounds good, right? On paper, when we start out, yay, I'm all for this. I'm ready to give you my money, and let's maximize it. So today we're talking about max funding, right? The
Indeed
idea is it's not just something about I want to give you all the money. There's limits to what we can do, but we want to make sure we're maximizing it because in the end, we want that good ROI, correct?
Well, we want a retirement nest egg,
right?
That we can hope will generate our lifestyle that we're always imagined we'd have, and it'll be sufficient for us. So right? So we're not really going to talk terribly a whole lot about investments,
right?
But we are going to talk about max funding because guess what? It's a new amount. It's 2025.
Okay.
Date stamping it.
So
we're coming into that year. And so we want everybody to know, hey, do I get to amp up some more?
Well, that's my question to you. So we'll start there. So how much, coming into the new year, coming into 2025, how much would be the first question we need to address? So
it's up $500. Is that right? 23.5. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. It's up $500. But every dollar counts. So if you're at 23.5, and this is, let's say you turn 50 in 2025, even like December 31st, well, you can do catch up. Right. So you're off the table there. We're talking about those that are younger than age 50.
Right.
Okay. So 23,500 divided by how many pay periods?
There's 26 pay periods.
My man.
Yep.
You're getting it. 26 pay periods. Yeah. That's it. So what's it look like per line or per pay period? Looks like $904.
$904, okay.
Yeah. Now the exact amount of 23.5 divided by 26 is, I'm looking here, $903.85. So we go 904, and then the final 26 pay period. TSP will always reduce to make sure you're within the guidelines, so you don't get penalized. So it'll be $900 the last pay period, I believe.
Okay.
But you'll get your 23,500 in it. And by the way, for any 401k, those rules apply to TSP and all 401ks. 457, 403Bs. It's 23,500 under age 50.
Okay. So now that you've mentioned ages, how does that change? Because pre-50, it's pretty straightforward. It's when you get past 50 that you start to get into the different changes based on age.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Well, so we get catch up.
Right.
Most Fed employees know that expression, catch up. And I think most folks that work for a company that offers a 401k retirement plan know catch up. Mm-hmm. So now that figure is at 7,500. Remember, it's the year you turn age 50, so you can back fund, right? If, like I said, if your birth date's in December, November, October, it doesn't matter. All the months prior to that, you can add catch up into it.
Okay.
So catch up there looks like 7,500. So we're talking $31,000 now.
Okay.
So if you took the 904 and you divided that 7,500, you're going to get $289. Not quite, again.
288
right? 288.46.
Okay.
Again, they're going to reduce. But a few years ago, the federal government made it super easy for the employees. Instead of separating and then starting the second line that was catch up. Mm-hmm. And, I would see folks, they'd put $500 into their regular contributions and then they'd start a catch up line for $200. I'm like, you're not catching up. I go, you still had to get to, 885 or whatever it was, the years prior. Yeah. I go, yeah, it's not really catch up at all. So we know now that it's 904, but they just let you put everything in one line.
Okay.
So instead of starting a catch-up line, as long as you were qualified, they just let you put, it's one line item. So I guess the question is, what's 31,000 divided by divided by 26 pay periods.
Now that's math I haven't done. But
That's 1193.
okay, I'm glad you did the math ahead of time because I'm not doing that math.
It's 1193 a pay period.
Okay.
Yeah, and then of course again,
Yeah.
we got to shaft the last pay period, the 26 pay period, by $18.
Okay.
It's 1175.
All right.
Yeah, but the government will do it for you. You just put in your 1193.
Right.
Because if you don't, you're going to underfund a little bit. I know it's only a few dollars, but just go ahead and pop it at 1193, and you'll be good. I feel like you're haunting me with that illustration about the Cowboys. It used to bug us so much with that expression they used to use for the Cowboys. Don't you say it.
No,
Don't
because
you
it
say
doesn't apply to them. It applies to Pittsburgh.
It applies to Steelers, baby. America's team.
I agree.
So anyway, you see Steeler bars all across the country.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, all across the country. There's one right here by the DMV in Laguna. It might be Laguna Hills. It seems like Laguna Niguel, right on the edge of Laguna Hills.
Right.
Steeler bar right there. I've watched games there before. Not that many because I like my replays. I like to have my own scene.
Yep.
Right. And I actually don't sit for 4 quarters. I come in. I love the whole taping thing now because I recorded. Because I come in and just fast forward through. Sometimes even between plays, especially the commercials. And I like to get caught up about halfway through the third quarter.
And then you can take it home from there.
Well, that's where everything happens, right?
Yeah.
Defense gets tired and things start to open up, right? Yeah. If a D can hang all 4 quarters, that's a defense.
That is good.
That's a defense. So what were we talking about? Return on investment, you said, like Cowboys.
Yeah.
They make a lot of money. Jerry Jones knows how to do that, but they lose on the field, right?
Right.
Yes. And so in order to not lose on the field, make sure your ROI inside your TSP or any 401k when you're young, make sure you're not all holed up in the G fund or bonds when you're young, but that you, one of the things you can do to help yourself is to use a target fund or in 401ks, but in TSP, it's called life cycle fund. So for instance, if I'm 50 and I want to retire 65 and it's 2025, I'm 50, it's 2025. I'm going to retire in 15 years. I add 2025 the year plus how many years before I retire?
15.
15 years gets me
2040.
And that could be the fund that I want to use life cycle wise. Okay. So you don't have to worry about how to mix your TSP or even your 401k. They'll have target funds. You just say, okay, I'm just going to do this. And it'll mix the funds for you, and it's going to give you the exposure to stocks that you need for your timeline to retire.
Okay. Well,
and gradually it'll become more and more and more G fund or safer, less risk. Yeah.
Okay.
And so that works.
So as we go past,
so you don't rob yourself of the growth that you need in your earning years.
Right. And as we go past 50, what are the other ages where we got to pay attention to some of the changes?
I mean, if you're in the life cycle fund, I hate saying this, but you kind of don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah. But you could start to make a plan when you hit about 59 and a half, 60, because then you have the privilege of doing an age-based in-service withdrawal. And then you might be able to, I say might and could and possibly.
Yeah.
Because I'm not making any recommendations for anybody.
Correct.
You might be able to lay down your foundational income out of your TSP and then take more risk with the money left behind in TSP. That's a possibility too. You know, I always say you got to create a plan, right? Yeah. We call ours a CRC, the Chartered Retirement Course. So when you're out on the water, you see our logo with the whale's tail and the navigational lines. Mm-hmm. When you're on the water, you've got business being there. You know where you're headed. You've got charts and you know exactly what you're doing. And so that's what retirement should be about. You know exactly what you're doing. You might have done a really good job of getting yourself this far,
right?
Even on your own, right? Even if you're not using the life cycle funds, but you're picking your own investments out of the 5 TSP funds. However, retirement is a completely different discipline, very, very different. And we pride ourselves in being the resident authorities.
All right.
On creating retirement income plans here at the firm. So.
I like that. One of the biggest complaints, and we're still using the Cowboys as an example, one of the biggest complaints that, again, I'm going off my buddies that are all Cowboys. They're loyal fans. I give them that. They're very loyal. Yes, they're really loyal. But their biggest complaint is that although Jerry Jones is great at making money, he is the GM of that team. and he's not so good at having that role.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the great things that we always discuss here, about having a fiduciary on your side, having someone with a plan on your side, is have someone in that role who knows what they're doing. Because if you're doing it on your own, you're essentially kind of Jerry Jones in it, to borrow a phrase.
Like that.
That is, you're taking your money and you're trying to make your own plan, when really you need the help of someone who has that knowledge specific, to this, someone who does this for a living.
Right.
Put your faith and put yourself in the hands of an expert. Essentially, that's what it comes down to.
Yes.
So
that's right. That's a good illustration. I like that.
Yeah, and then in the end game, you will have success on your field.
Yeah,
which
don't
is your
try to
retirement.
Jerry Jones in retirement, because you get one chance a lot of times to make certain decisions, and those decisions could have long repercussions and ripple effects.
Yep.
So do it right.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you're going to need somebody. You're going to need us to help you do it right.
Get someone on your side that's going to chart your course and help you out.
Yeah, that's it.
great.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Okay. So,
All right. So you ready for a health tip, or did you have something else that you want to put in under this? I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm all about health, man. Yeah.
no, wait a minute.
Yep.
This is a very unusual year for ketchup.
Oh, okay. Yes. I'm sorry. We
Really
glossed over that.
strange year
Yes.
for ketchup.
What other things are different with it?
Or maybe what is strange?
What is strange? Okay, fair.
I want you to ask that. Go ahead, ask me.
Okay. So what is strange this year?
Oh, the ketchup for people, it's so arbitrary. I'm not tracking it. So for those who are age 60 through 63,
Uh-huh.
and yes, I'm entering puberty because it felt like my voice was cracking there. Those
We'll get some Clearasil later. Go ahead. Yes, all
I'm
right.
coming down a little something, something. But those age 60 to just to 63, I don't know. It's 4 years. I don't know why they didn't take it out to, I don't know, as long as you work, 75, let's say. But they're not. They're going from 60 to 63. Their ketchup is not $7,500.
What is it?
Oh, what is the ketchup?
yeah.
I feel like I'm on Johnny Carson. It's $11,000. I'm sorry, $11,250.
Okay.
It's so weird. Well, what's weird is I love that they're giving a window of more ketchup for those who are really close to retirement. But I think maybe the message is, hey, after 63, what are you doing here? I'm not sure. And with all the happenings with the new administration, right, that's coming up, right, and they're wanting to, it looks like they want to trim federal jobs out.
Yeah.
Maybe that is, maybe, but this was started before that from the Biden administration. It's like, look, there's 60, 63. After that, you go back to the normal ketchup. I don't know why. I'm spitballing here with you, Mark. Right?
Yeah, like
brainstorming.
Like, why do they come up with these specific numbers?
Why is it 63 cutoff?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's 11,250, right? So now the line item is no longer 1193, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
So what is
Come
the
on.
number? What is the number? Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's now 1337. Okay, are you okay with that?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I don't get where these.
Well, now instead of 1193, you could, hey, but if it's me, if I was 60, I'd be like, hooray, right? I get to fund even more money into my 401k,
right?
Because I fund my own 401k, I max it out, right? So it's like, okay, it's 1337, take it, right? Some people are trying to drop their income. Others are trying to grow their tax-free money, which is my favorite, right? And some are doing both.
Tax-free is always good.
Yeah. So it's, what did I say was
1337. Yeah.
Yeah. And the last pay period, I think it's like $2 less, right? Let me see. That's 1325.
Oh,
yeah. It automatically reduced to 1325.
Are they using like a magic 8-ball to come up with these numbers?
I'm not. No, I calculated them out.
No, I'm saying I don't know how they get to these,
No, I don't know. I mean, like, pull it out of the sky.
Yeah.
11,250 for ketchup. I mean, what is that? If it was 11,500, it would be 4,000 more, right? So it's $3,750 more. Hey, every little bit counts. Well, because every dollar you get into your TSP or your 401k or an IRA, 457, 403b, will be that much more that can go into the Roth. And Roth will grow tax-free the rest of your life.
Yep.
If you do a Roth conversion, it will be taxable the moment you do that, but never, ever again. So I am like crazy silly for Roth. I really am. Yeah. And right now I'm trying to, right now we're matching about half and half in our retirement accounts. Actually, maybe a little bit more now. Because I used to use a SEP IRA, which you could really fund, but now my wife and I are funding our 401ks, but we're doing it all Roth. We're take on the taxes now. And it's a heavy tax bill, but I'm okay. Yeah. I'm okay. I want to keep going.
Because in the end, it's the
I want it to grow tax-free.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I've access to this pretty aggressive single fund that I use in my 401k, and I really dig it.
Right.
And it's done fantastically well the last 2 years.
And the idea, again, maximizing return on investment.
Yeah.
Sometimes it means you take a hit up front, but you
that's right. Yeah,
better benefits later.
Pay the taxes now,
right?
And in the future, everything's growing tax free. Yeah. And to be clear, by the way, Angie's doing I got her balanced. I put large, mid, and small cap. Yeah, domestic. I'm not really messing with international. I'm okay with that. I'm not making any recommendations for anybody. Right. And there is no mid-cap fund anyway in the TSP, sort of, kind of. There's the S fund, which is actually mid and small. So, yeah, there it is. Yeah, just to talk, right?
In a nutshell, yeah.
And folks, most of the time when they're looking for growth, they're pounding away on the C fund.
Right.
Yeah, or the life cycle funds, as I said before. But again, I'm not making any recommendations because compliance has already told me you got to make sure I'm not making any recommendations. So, okay.
Well, this is all. I mean, this is all informational. It's for people to listen to this and take it, and then they need to start figuring out what's best for them because it's very individual, right?
It's very individual. Yeah. So where were we? 1337.
1337.
If you're listening, and this year you turn 60.
Yeah.
Ding 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 ding. 1337, man.
Put it in.
Yeah. All the way through 63. And I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. Congress meets, or the administration makes laws, and we'll see what comes of it. Right?
You knew my next question was what's going to happen after that, but you addressed it.
So let's talk about what happens if you do. Let's say you just put in your maximum, and you never do catch up.
Okay.
All right. So I ran some numbers just to see what it looked like.
What does it look like?
So let's say you got $100,000. You're age 50 in your TSP. Or your 401k. Same numbers apply. Okay? Yeah. A 403b, 457 too, although usually they're giving you less aggressive investments in those funds. 403b is for hospitals and school teachers. 457 is for other government employees, non-feds. So just so you know that.
Just FYI, yes.
But the biggest ones are TSP, 401k. So let's say your TSP is 100,000. You're age 50. Right? Maybe you just started, or maybe you just didn't do much contributing, or maybe you worked at another job and you were self-employed. But let's say you got 100,000 at age 50, and you got a 15-year timeline, and you're going to contribute $900 a pay period.
Okay.
You're going to get your 5% match from the government, and let's say you make 100,000. Okay. So you got your $900, which is going to come up to almost that 23,500. Okay, you're going to fall shy, 4 times 25, I think it was, or something like
100?
That. Yeah, what did I say? $4 times 25 pay period is $100. So 23,400, okay? For the next 15 years, you start with 100,000. And let's say you get an 8% return on your investment. Now, returns don't go in a straight line.
Right.
They go zigzaggy. But let's say you get an 8% annualized return for the next 15 years. This is our illustration only.
Right.
Do you know how much you'll end up with? 100,000 starting, funding 23,400 every year, not even doing catch up. In the end of 15 years, what will you get?
So that's 23,400 by 15?
Well, you could do that, sure. You do 25 times 10 is 250,000, and then half as much as 375.
I like your math better. It sounds easier.
Well, I mean, you're not going to get it, but with no growth.
Right.
100 plus 375 would be what, 475?
Yep.
Yeah. No, you're going to end up with 1.1 almost.
Okay.
1,088,000. Hey, that's
not bad.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
1 million, 1.1, you're a millionaire. But consider something that with inflation, your money in 15 years will be kind of sort of halved.
Okay.
So you got to see right now, if you're listening to this and you say, okay, I'm the guy with 100,000. I'm the lady with 100,000. Well, guess what, folks? You got to step it up because that money's not going to be worth as much. It's the purchasing power of your dollar. It gets eroded by inflation.
And,
Okay.
and that's the concern, because I mean that's ultimately like we've been beating this illustration to death. That's the product on the field. When you retire and you're looking at that money, is it worth what you think, or is it going to be worth what you
Right.
think it's going to be worth?
The Jerry Jones effect?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, good. So let's talk about if you do catch up.
Okay.
Let's say you put 31,000 in from here forward at age 50.
Okay.
So you're putting in another what? We were at 23.4.
23.4,
Right. So we're
another $7,000.
7,600.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. 7,600. Let's put another 7,600 in annually. And what is that? 76 times 10, 76,000.
76,000.
And half as much.
30.
Right. Let's just call it 100,000.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit more, 110,000. Right.
Yeah,
You're going
110.
to end up with 1.3,
Yes.
more or less. I think it was 1,294,000 using the HP calculator on the telephone I got. That app I've had for, goodness, a long time. 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, since got my iPhone 16 years ago.
It still requires you
moved
to
to the West
use
Coast.
a green visor, right, and have the whole crank, or is that different app? Different. Anyway.
There's so many buttons, but it's the buttons I need to know, right? Yeah,
That's
I worked
it.
like 7 of them, and I got them. Right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a gift. So, I mean, the gift of that HP calculator, and it's and I think I spent $10 16 years ago for it.
Giddy up.
Yeah, that was like,
That's good return on investment.
Well, spend that's an ROI there, baby. Yeah,
is it.
so there it is. Yeah, that's your max funding,
Okay, and so the
and that's not the extra 60 to 63.
right, and that's just the difference. 15 years you're looking at, and you've max funded, but it's significant. I mean,
It's significant. Can I do something?
please.
All right, I'm going to take this bad boy, and I'm going to say, let's say you're starting out with 500,000.
The app has come out. This is good. I like this.
500,000 is the present value PV, and then you go 8% is the illustrated return. That's the I button, interest, and then 15 is the number of years. You press the N button. You have to put 15N, and then you say your payment now. We're going to do 31,000 again. 1, 2, 3, and it says the payment. Oh, I jacked it up. Let's do this then. 500,000 is the present value. Let's say 8 is the interest. Let's say 15 is the number. Let's just say 23,400 is the payment. What's the future value? Oh, interesting. Instead of 1.1, what does that say?
2.2.
2.2, because you doubled up.
Yeah.
Because you started with 500,000.
Yeah.
So there's hope for you folks if you got 500,000. How's that sound? I like 2.2 a lot more than 1.1.
Yeah, especially because
Because it spends in 15 years like 1.1.
I was about to say you're always fond of saying 15 years from now that million's going to be worth 500,000. So that
Right.
2.2 is 1.1. That's
Today's dollars,
a whole lot better.
at 4.5% withdrawal rate type thing.
Yeah.
Right. And you could end up with like 55,000, 50,000 in today's dollars, which, at 2.2, hey now, I
Significant.
mean, you're going to be pulling, over, like $90,000 a year
That's much.
divided by 12 months.
Yeah.
That's money that you may very well need.
Yeah.
And I hope it's money well spent.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
giddy up with that.
Very nice.
Kinds of Cowboys references.
Once I should have brought my phone, Cowboy. I should be wearing a phone, but I wouldn't wear one anyway.
I do love those things, but I love the terrible towel. I love it when they're in other people's stadiums.
Yeah.
And I see all this yellow. On the West Coast, I've seen that.
Yeah.
I'm hearing this cheering when I'm tuning into the games, and I'm like, wait, I thought this was an away game. It is an away game. I'm like, this is awesome.
Never an away game.
Awesome. Right?
It's never an away game for us.
I don't want to name the cities where they were, but it was like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Sometimes Steeler fans are present.
Yes.
And they also travel very well
Yes.
as also. So there it is.
Yeah. And I think the Super Bowls reflect great ROI from that organization. And yes, that was a dig.
We're due for one.
That was a dig at every other fan base. So
Yeah,
yes,
right.
Yeah,
This is the season, man. They're looking good. Russell's throwing the deep ball. He's throwing the deep ball.
let Russ cook.
Bring Fields in for the package plays inside the 20. I like it in the red zone, right? But he's getting more and more confident, right? Keep running the ball too.
Let Russ cook.
Defenses will wear down in the halfway through the third. That's the way it always has been.
Let's go.
Right?
Let's go get that Super Bowl this year. I'm all for that. All right.
Why not? At least try, right?
Let's give it a go. Let's do it.
Go for it.
There is no try.
We're going.
Only do or do not.
Yo,
I've heard that somewhere.
so we got a health tip?
Yes, we do have a health tip.
Oh, okay.
And this is a health tip. So
I'm jumping all over this.
Yes, because I think
this
this is near and dear to both of our hearts because we're both egg guys. And eggs over most of our lifetime have gotten a real bad rap. And in the last few years, all the research finally catching up. They're like, hey, maybe eggs aren't so bad for you. Maybe eggs are really good for
I
you.
don't pay attention to that stuff.
We've known that all along.
Listen to your body, folks.
Absolutely.
The body knows. I've been told by some healthcare professionals that the body itself can process like 1,000 times more information than the brain. I know that sounds weird, but that's what it means. Trust your gut, right?
Absolutely.
Trust your gut. Yeah.
So
yesterday I was spun next door to my chiropractor by somebody who came to visit me with two little girls that she was taking to the chiropractor. And I know her. She came in and said hello. I was like, oh, the chiropractor. I went next door and I was like, hey, I need to go. Right? And thank goodness I did, right?
Good.
10 minutes later, I feel like a new man.
Very nice.
Because I knew I was coming down with this, right?
You look like a new man.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Right out the wrapper.
Appreciate that.
Right out the wrapper.
Thanks, cowboy. Eggs.
So what do you like about eggs?
What do I like about eggs?
Yeah.
So not to like. I mean, okay, so I'm going to tell you a couple different short anecdote stories. Eggs, chickens that peck in the yard, their yolks get darker and darker. They do. You'll see them.
Eating them bugs.
Yeah, when you just got eating the bugs, eating the grass, eating weeds and whatever they're eating that's green and not green. I don't care, worms, whatever. The only way we get omega-3 is to eat the things that eat the omega-3.
Yep.
And chickens are really good at eating things that eat omega-3.
Yeah.
Salmon are really good at eating things when they're free running that eat omega-3 or that have omega-3, I should say.
Yeah.
We're eating things that eat omega-3. Salmon do the same thing. Chickens do that.
Yep.
So they're great for omega-3, right? And that you see the omega-3 fatty acids in the yolks because they go from yellow to
orange, basically.
Orange.
Yeah.
And they're so good.
Absolutely.
And my argument is, because you're thinking, some of you are listening to this and thinking, but they cost more money, Charles. Yes, but you eat less of them.
Yes.
Why?
Because they're more nourishing.
They're packed with more nutrients.
Yep.
So your body doesn't crave as many calories and as much because it's packed.
Yep.
It's awesome that way. So be good to yourself.
Absolutely.
So I have a friend and he's a big time with Sprouts, right? Mm-hmm. And SFM, that's the trading symbol for Sprouts. That's Sprouts Farmers Market.
Yeah.
And so the Happy Hens line, there was a blue one. I haven't seen the blue carton lately at Sprouts, but the Happy Hen, those are so deep in color.
Yes.
Yeah. So anything you could grab hold of, right, that has that deep color, you're doing good by yourself, right?
Absolutely. And
they're delicious.
I got to say that just to reiterate, I mean, even the eggs, just regular old grocery eggs are good for you. I mean, it's good stuff, but the more you're willing to invest in it, the better you're getting. We've talked about ROI all this time. It's return on investment. Yeah, you pay a little more for those eggs, but you're getting much more bang for your buck.
Pay now.
Yeah.
Who was telling me pay now or pay later, Charles? Right? Pay now by taking care of your health, your body, or pay later, folks, right?
Yeah.
Then you're going to the doctor and getting meds and all that stuff.
Pay for eggs now. I love it. We grew up with chickens as a kid, and it bugs me sometimes that I go to the grocery store and I see these chickens, it says fed vegetarian diet. And I think chickens aren't vegetarians. If you've ever raised chickens and you know this, you know what I'm talking about.
They're getting after it. Scratching and digging.
They want those bugs. And that's what you want. You want those chickens getting those bugs because, like you just said, all that nutrient goes into an egg that we can process and benefit from.
They scratch all day long.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I know this because of my father-in-law down in Oklahoma has a coop. And I watch him. He lets them out. I want to say he lets them out a little bit late, like 11-ish.
Yep.
But you hear them,
yep.
When they lay an egg. So each one of them, they had 4 chickens. My favorite was the Polish Silky. Named that Polish Silky after a friend of ours, right? She has from Poland too. So I thought it was fitting. And I see them go out of the coop, and they scratch away in the yard and in the over out of the grass, even underneath the pine trees, and they're just looking for all kinds of different stuff because they're listening to their body.
Yeah, absolutely.
They go after animals. Always have done that, right? You see the grizzlies in the Rocky Mountains, and they're pulling over rocks to get at these salt licks and these where the bees go and all kinds of stuff. So animals listen to their body. We need to do the same thing.
When we were kids, we used to catch grasshoppers. If you ever seen chickens go crazy for grasshoppers?
Is that right?
So we used to go out in the field and catch those big, locusts.
And feed them?
And we'd feed them. They love that. I mean, they would know they knew you had one. I mean, they would just come around you. They would fight over that.
That's fine.
Yeah. So they know. But listen to your body. But
that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
All right. So Dad, he decides one evening they're tired. I mean, he's 81 now.
Yeah.
Mom's 76, right? So my wife's parents, he left the coop door open. So there's a chicken coop, and they come down, and behind there he built the wooden doors, and so they drop the egg into the straw, and you can just reach right in and get the eggs every morning, right?
Right.
Usually you get 3 out of 4, right? And chickens are funny. They go into little spurts. Sometimes they lay a little less often in the winter too.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, but you're pulling about 2.5 eggs, 3 eggs a day, right? Mm-hmm. If a chicken stops producing eggs,
soup.
Yeah, there you go. Right? You're a pragmatist like me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, from the chicken coop, they come down the little ramp, and there's the pen, right, with the cyclone fence, right? And then there's the gate. Well, he left that gate open. The pen's not that big, right? But then he left that gate open. He's like, oh, they'll be okay. No. A raccoon came in and killed them all. Strange. We talk about this on another episode.
We might have discussed this already, but raccoons, possums, snakes, you got to watch for that.
You said even snakes. Interesting.
Snakes, yeah. Dogs will do that too.
You said that. Dogs too. They go crazy. Anyway, yeah, that's what happens. So close the gate on your coop at night. If you're going to go I don't care how tired you are. Get up, because they're always waiting.
Yeah.
Nature's waiting, right? They're waiting. So don't let them jump you, right? Yeah. So that's my little story. And I mean, if you can, right? Let them in the yard.
Yep.
That's where you're going to get great eggs from and great yolks, just all the way around. Let them peck in your yard, right? I thought he had to have like a dog to guard him because they have a little shepherd dog during the day. Not so much, though.
If you do have a dog that's trained, not all dogs do that, but I'm saying there are dogs that will break in, and if they're not around chickens, then a lot of times they'll just kill the chickens, and they won't eat them. They'll just kill them.
You got to raise the dog probably with the chickens.
Yeah, different breeds of dogs. Yes.
Yeah, but they said no, they didn't have a problem, and they're in the country, right? In Broken Bow. So, I mean, coyotes will come in, and we've been seeing them around these parts get a little more bolder during the daylight hours. But if you bring them in just before dusk, bring those chickens back in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be okay. Interesting that in Europe, I remember in Portugal, the eggs are not refrigerated.
No.
They're at the end aisle.
Yeah.
The aisle cap had the eggs. You want to know why? You already know why.
Well, I will tell you this. It's not just Europeans. It's basically everywhere outside the U.S. Everybody keeps their eggs on the counter.
And why is that? Do you know?
I haven't heard anything specific. That's the way it is.
Because when we pasteurize our eggs,
it
ruins the membrane between the shell and the egg itself.
Right, and that's why you have to refrigerate.
And they corrupt sooner. Yeah, and I guess it's supposed to be better. But guess what? We just go and take the eggs, and we crack them open, and we're good to go. Yeah. And we could keep them in a basket, just like the old pictures, at room temperature, and they'll be fine for days.
Yep.
No issues whatsoever. Yeah, so just a little interesting side note.
I love
Go get you a good egg.
Go get some good eggs, man. Good eggs are good for you, and that's the main thing.
Oh, man.
I mean, we're
not going to do the Forrest Gump with the shrimp fricassee, garlic shrimp, and the
omelets and frittatas, and
and the poached egg, and the eggs over easy. And my Sophia's favorite way is sunny side up.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And quiche. Ooh, I like me some quiche.
I love me a good quiche.
Man, I do. You can make a good quiche.
There's an influencer, a fitness influencer. I'm trying to remember who it was exactly, but I love his take because he says eggs are nature's multivitamin.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Remember Rocky?
Yeah.
In the movie?
Oh, absolutely.
The original Rocky, folks. Right? For you baby boomers, cracking them eggs, drinking it down. I did that shortly thereafter.
I've done that too.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, it was implanted in you, right? Pop culture. I'm like,
have to do
this has got to be good for me. I got to try this out.
Yes. I didn't do it before I ran up the steps in Philly. but I have done it.
Oh, that's cool. That's so cool to run up the steps of Philly, isn't it?
Yeah.
They got Stallone's Chuck Taylor prints right in the
Yep.
concrete there at the very top.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Everybody we brought in from, they would come visit from out of town. We lived there for 10
You have
years.
to do it.
Come on, I'll run with you. I would
You
make
have
them
to
run
do it.
with
I
you.
do the same thing. When I take new people to Philly, I make them run the steps.
So you gotta
We
run the
got to run
steps,
the
don't
steps.
you? Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to put a bow into there. Thank you so much, Chuck. Good stuff on max funding. We want to make sure your ROI is where it should be. And get you some eggs, man. Nature's multivitamin. They're good and good for you. As always, we thank you for joining us here. Please click on that link below. Subscribe to the videos. They'll come straight to you. You'll have them right away. Get the link. You can also get a link there to contact CD Financial because, again, have someone on your side who knows what they're doing, who specializes in this stuff, and then you can relax and enjoy your retirement when the time comes. CD Financial, where health meets wealth. We want to thank you again for joining us and being here. Chuck, thanks for your time. Thanks for the info. We look forward to seeing you all next time.
Give us a call, folks. 949-359-5100. Just ask somebody to get on the calendar and you'll be able to get a 15-minute complimentary phone call. And get after it. Catch-up's increased. Blow that thing up in a good way. Yeah. Expand it. You're going to be happy you did it later on.
Love it.
Okay, we'll talk to you soon.
Be good.
CD Financial, where health meets wealth.